The UFC just secured a deal with Paramount for $7.7 billion. That means more eyeballs, more interest, and higher card prices for you and me. This billion-dollar deal is going to specifically affect one fighter's price tremendously. Is this fighter's card price going to go up or down? And we're going to tell you who that fighter is. We'll break down the biggest cards and some buys we have our eyes on. Plus, Shedeur Sanders is balling out in preseason. Cam Ward who? So we'll take a look at some rookies who we think are moving up or down. But first, we love our fans and we want to show our appreciation. The Ludex Weekly Loot Giveaway is back. It just started last week. This is the second edition. The first edition gave away this $600 stained glass Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama? Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama? Wemby. This Wemby giveaway is for you. Well, not you. It's actually for this lucky Ludex winner. My Walking Blog, congratulations. You won. I'm new to your channel, but a long-time Ludex user. Love this collaboration. Plus, I'm really enjoying the great information y'all are providing. Big fan of the back and forth about the Star Wars card. They called me stupid, and how you value that compared to Mac Jones. LOL. Well, listen, guys. Again, we want to hear from you in the comments every single week. Please leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to our channel. We pick a comment every single week. We're doing another giveaway in this episode, and we're going to show you who it is later in the video. So keep watching. Ethan, I know you're excited. The $7 billion deal, $7.7 billion to be specific. And for anybody who is unaware who's watching, what this means for UFC fans is, I think ESPN and UFC had a deal for pay-per-view. It was like $59 a year annually to have ESPN, and then it was anywhere from like 60 to 80 or 90 bucks per pay-per-view to watch UFC fights. Now, I believe UFC will air on CBS and Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is probably somewhere in the range of $10 a month. So this is huge for UFC fans and casual fans who maybe don't watch fights because of the price point, right? That barrier to entry. What do you think this means for card prices, this deal?
I think this deal is going to do a lot for the UFC. It's going to bring more eyes on the show. It's going to be on cable, so more people are forced to watch it. And it's going to bring some more casuals into it because a lot of the time, I mean, Stream East is going to lose tons of money. Everyone's been illegally watching these fights for a long time, and now it's convenient to watch it. It's going to help the gambling market. It's going to help the sports card market. A lot of the OGs who've been watching the sport have been collecting for a long time, and the cards have been fairly cheap. If you compare a Conor McGregor rookie to a Jordan rookie, a Brady rookie, an Otani rookie, it's not even close, and they're as monumental to the sport as anyone else is. For example, if you look at the Conor Bloodlines rookie base PSA 10, it's probably like a $200 card. It's pretty much the exact replica of what a Fleer Jordan should be for the sport. And I can see in a couple years UFC being the biggest sport in the world.
Well, it sort of already is one of the biggest sports in the world only because every single country can watch it, right? Not that anybody can't watch football or baseball, but I think there's a lot of the four major sports that we watch in America are not very popular overseas, right? Where fighting is kind of just international, universal, right? Everybody can watch a fight. Everybody has some variation of fighting or mixed martial arts within their country, right? So it's cool to watch all of the styles kind of compete in one arena. I think that allowing the average fan access to these fights, fight night. I think you said there was 30-something fight nights or 60 fight nights a year, plus 13 pay-per-views. Now that's just going to be given out to everyone. I think this broadens the audience, increases the UFC fan base. More people get to watch. More people get interested. And again, we always talk about supply and demand, right? So now what's about to happen is there's going to be more people watching, more eyeballs, more eBay searches, more people who demand to see cards. Not just UFC fights. Now there's going to be a higher demand for cards. And there's only so many UFC cards that are produced. I mean, also think about this. There's way more football, basketball, baseball sets that are produced than UFC. The supply is what it is at the moment in terms of UFC cards. And if the demand comes in and increases, this could be a huge opportunity to buy right now.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a sport that's brand new. Football's been around for 100 years. Soccer's been around for 300 years. Fighting's been around for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, there's nothing like a rush of just watching two guys go all out. It's not a team sport. It's just 1v1 and the best guy wins. These fighters are also super marketable. They're not wearing a helmet. They're not wearing a jersey. They're just them. They gotta talk shit. They gotta promote their own fights. Most of the time, they represent themselves. I mean, it's just such a personal sport because everyone can relate to getting punched in the face. You know how much that hurts. Now watching it on the best of the best fighting, it's kind of like how gladiators used to be. When you're a kid, kids don't have money. They can't go on Stream East and watch it illegally. They can't spend $100 to watch the fights. Now they're going to be able to grow up watching UFC, and that's going to instill some type of favoritism to the sport that hasn't been around for a long time.
And you have Dana White, who is an incredible marketer, and you know he's buddies with Michael Rubin, maybe the master marketer. And we've already seen Dana White show up to Fanatics Fest and post content, open boxes online, show some of his collection even outside of UFC. So I think that Dana White will be a champion of pushing UFC cards and cards in general forward, right, in addition to what he's doing. But back to, we always talk about on this show, what affects a card's price to make it move up or down. I mean, a player winning an MVP, player winning a championship, guy gets injured, their card price goes down. This is a moment that doesn't happen all the time where the entire sport could arguably be elevated 10, 20, 30% minimum, right? And especially the guys, these legacy guys, Conor McGregor, right? John Jones, Khabib, the guys who have fought for years and years and years. I mean, there's an argument to be made, even the guys from the early 2000s, right? So, like, maybe an Anderson Silva, like a Rampage, maybe
a Royce Gracie, a Ken Shamrock. Like, all these guys are total legends of their sport. And most of the casual people, UFC fans, don't even know about it. It's actually going to be super educational having this on mainstream TV so people can get more of a background on the sport. But the most important thing about this is, like, you own these sports cards, and, like, let's say your player is playing great, but you lose because your team is ass. This is not going to happen in the UFC. Only you go in there. If you win or lose, that's going to reflect directly on prices. You can't go in there and lose and be like, oh, it was cold weather outside, my coach was not telling me the right thing to do. No, you got your ass beat. So you can hold these cards. They can go on 5 fight win streaks, win the belt. That card will go up every single fight or down every single fight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that we're about to have this moment in time where we saw Ilya sell for $100K, his black prism.
Yep.
Just did that. And by the way, we have, I don't know if you heard about Khamzat versus Duplessis.
DDP this week's going to be a great fight.
Like, they're both undefeated. I don't even know how to say his name. Duplessis?
Yeah, Dricus has got 2 losses, but Khamzat's undefeated. Like, and how cool is this? We're watching a guy from South Africa fight a Russian, and then under the card, we're going to have a Georgian fighting an American, and it's like such a cultural sport. And that Ilya sale at $100K is one of the highest UFC cards ever, and Ilya's only been around for 2 years. So imagine like a George St. Pierre card should be doing around these numbers, and now that more eyes are on the sport, people are going to realize that.
I'm so glad I moved my Sean O'Malley gold prism to you months back.
Yeah, and good thing I moved it last month, even though I regret it.
It was such a cool card.
Dude, 22. So I want to go into the cards that are going to be big. All right? What we're talking about right now. 2020 Prism Gold is first-year Prism for UFC. Great set. Round 1 autos, which are the first autographs of UFC. They have regular autos and they have red ink autos. Those are going to be great. Then you got to look at the GOATs. 2009 John Jones autos, 20 Bloodlines, which is Khabib and Conor. You know, there's so many underrated cards you can pick up now that I guarantee in a year they'll be 2 or 3x what they are.
And by the way, we've been getting some feedback on the show for anybody who's listening that a lot of people do want to see more affordable cards that we discuss. And I just want to let everybody know that we will be discussing more cards at more affordable price points, number one. But regardless of the price points, the same rules apply to everybody who's watching, right? So if we're talking about UFC right now and you're like, Daps, Ethan, who should I buy? Who should I be looking at? Anything in a slab, check the pop count.
Yeah.
Right? And again, anybody who finds a listing on eBay or Alt or Card Ladder or wherever, you can always click the back image of the card and scan that QR code. That will bring you to the actual pop report and show you, hey, this card was printed 99 times and there's, 17 PSA 10s or whatever the breakdown is.
And you know what the cool thing about UFC cards are? They haven't been around since the 60s and 70s. The earliest ones you're going to find are in the 2000s, and just like the 60s and 70s, they were made like shit. A lot of them don't grade well. So if you find a high-graded one, like what we're looking at right now is a Khabib PSA 10 rookie, you could find that for $200. Buy now on eBay. One of the greatest UFC fighters ever.
Yeah, and just before the show started, you said, I might buy this card buy it now at $215. And by the way, for somebody to say that, there's not a lot of cards on eBay that you would be willing to just go buy it now without negotiating or putting an offer in and saying, let me see if I could get this card for $175, right? So most of the time, if you do see a card on eBay, anybody who's new to the hobby, remember, all of those cards are most likely up 30%, 40%, 50% over their value. So you can always put an offer in to try to get it a little cheaper.
Yeah, and one of the bigger cards that I've been seeing growing, even before this deal, have been the Joe Rogan 2009s. Look at Joe Rogan. That guy is one of the most influential people in the world. Like, he might have decided the presidency this year. Like, this guy's cards, I remember buying PSA 8s for like $300, and I'm pretty sure they're at $600 now. The 10s have pop 6. Like, the last sale is maybe a $2K, I believe, and I know privately they're moving for 5 digits.
Yeah, and I mean, I have never even seen a PSA 10. So, pretty wild. $300 for a 7 right now on eBay. So, I'm sure you would estimate this somewhere between $200 and $250 is probably the average for. But that's a pretty wild jump from a 7 to a 10 being $250 to $10K.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, that doesn't really happen across a lot of cards.
And this is just a base card. Like, it's not even that long ago. This card's from 2009. Like, it's
15 years old. Whatever
it's only
it is.
15 years old.
Yeah.
This card has so much room to keep going up. Like, right now, the UFC fandom is relatively small. It's going to go up to the size of like tennis or hockey or one of the lower edge sports. And if they even hit that line, they should break records.
Let's move over from UFC to our favorite sport, which is football. And let's talk about a guy who just can't seem to stop being in the headlines, so much heat around him. And you know what? Good for him, the way he balled out in preseason. Shedeur Sanders gets dropped from a first-round pick to a fifth-round pick. Nobody understands why. And then he plays like a first-round pick in his first preseason game. And I think Adam Schefter said it this week. He looked like a starting quarterback.
Yeah, I want to slow everyone's brakes right now because if you're playing week 1 of the NFL preseason, you're not a first-round pick. Like, you're playing against guys who aren't making the roster. And, he might have looked great in his 1.5 quarters he was playing, but please don't go out and buy stupid cards. Like, preseason football is stupid card season. Your rookies aren't even out yet. So the best card you have is an XRC. The next best card is a Bowman Auto. Like, okay, sure, you think Shedeur is the future. Sure, you want to get in early, but even if you get in early, you're still buying a dog shit card that will go down a lot in 5 months.
I would argue early would be like after the season in the offseason. But what I do want to say is I completely agree with you. I am sick and tired of everyone talking about preseason stats, especially now. The way social media has evolved, even in the last 5 years, it's like this year I'm watching these clips, and I think it's all rage bait, but it's just like, oh my God, dude dropped 250 yards in preseason, 2 touchdowns. It's like, who cares? No one cares. The reason that I do care about Shedeur Sanders is the Browns are dog shit. All of their quarterbacks are dog shit, right? And by the way, I'm a Joe Flacco fan. No disrespect.
Big fan.
To Joe Flacco.
Elite player.
But he's pushing 40 years old, okay? If they keep him in, it's because he's a seasoned veteran and he's going to teach the guys beneath him. Deshaun Watson, not playing. Dylan Gabriel,
not
who else do they have? They have another...
Kenny Pickett,
trash. So this really looks like Shedeur Sanders can step into this starting role week 3, week 4, week 5. If Joe Flacco... Listen, this is how it goes down. If Joe Flacco and the Browns are 0-5 or 1-4, the fan base is going to be like, get him out. Let's see Shedeur, right? And if that happens, pressure gets put on the team. And if the Browns don't have a chance, why wouldn't you put Shedeur in? Because you can sell more tickets to games.
But
because he's more entertaining than Joe Flacco.
We're talking about the Browns here. Like Joe Flacco 2 years ago was flying economy to go play a playoff game because he was the 8th quarterback available at the moment. Sure,
he said he was flying economy, though.
He was flying row 27 to go play a playoff game. There was photos of it. Like, okay, Shedeur wins. He's playing for the Browns still. The Browns are paying $280 million to Deshaun Watson at the moment. They're not going to be good. If Shedeur Sanders comes out and wins 11 games, I'll stop doing the podcast. Like, there's no chance he wins any games. He could play well, but he's still going to have double-digit losses.
Listen, the fact of the matter is Shedeur Sanders is going to start this season at some point. All right? You might not like it. That's what's going to happen. And his XRCs are selling in real time on eBay. Check this out. $5,900 for an XRC gold, 33 bids. So that's a real sale to me. I don't know how you feel about 33 bids.
I mean, it happened before the whole draft, but yeah.
June 14th? I think the draft was in April. So this is post-draft.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is like 2 months after the draft to sell.
Dude, people are so stupid.
But at the same time, listen, a gold Shedeur Sanders, XRC, we should really like reference this with, I think, another player to compare.
Okay.
But at the same time, out of 10, if Shedeur Sanders is a starting quarterback at $6K for an XRC, I don't think you're that upset with that price.
Dude, I think a Mahomes gold XRC is like $25K. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can find a Joe Burrow gold XRC for this price. I am very upset about it. Am I surprised? No. It happens every year. But, like, you can just use logic. I really think that if Shedeur comes out and plays well, this card will go up. And then by the end of the season, even if he is good, it is going to go down. You know, playing good for 1 year or for 1 week or just playing for the Browns in general is not going to cause a long-run growth.
Jaden Daniels, hyped, and then performs absolutely insane last year. So his prices are as high as they could be.
13.2K
No,
in a PSA 8, August 9th.
$13,000 for Jaden Daniels gold XRC.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about Shedeur Sanders is half the price of that. So is it a little high? Sure. But at the same time, like, this is how I always ask people, like, is Shedeur Sanders half the football player of Jaden Daniels? I have no idea. I'm not going to make that declaration right now. I am of the opinion that Jaden Daniels can only regress this year because of how far he brought the team last year. He has to win the Super Bowl to outperform what he did last year. And I don't like that as far as investing him in him as a player. Listen, you're buying him, and you're going to flip him this month, right? Like,
Sure.
Whatever. Do your thing. Make your money. But I'm talking about if you're buying Jaden Daniels right now, I do not think you have a window of time to make money on that card before his market starts to dip, right? He's in a very good division. He's in the division with the Super Bowl champions, right? Now you go over to Shedeur Sanders, who also is in a great division and also is half the price of Jaden Daniels. Can he go up? I think he can go up on hype alone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he could come in, beat Lamar Jackson's and the Ravens in a meaningless one game in the middle of the season, and everyone's like, oh my God, Shedeur Sanders, right? And, like, his price goes up 20, 30% for no reason. Whereas I don't think Jaden Daniels can really do that in the middle of the season.
But I wonder what a Cam Ward gold XRC does. Like, he is the best quarterback in the class. It's not even close. That's why he was first overall pick. But I don't even think his does more than $6K. Also, what if this draft is just another Brock Purdy year draft where everyone is just terrible? You know, just because a draft happened doesn't mean there's good players coming in.
I'll tell you, though, over the last couple of years, there's a lot of bad drafts.
Yeah.
Like,
most of them are.
2021, that
Terrible.
box of Prism and any box is just horrible. Like, the only player you could really chase right now is T-Law, and you could also argue, like, T-Law, if he doesn't perform this year, he's over. It's donezo, right?
Yeah.
22. Remember when it was Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, dude.
And then, remember, Brock Purdy didn't come along till the middle of the season. So,
Dude.
nobody was chasing Purdy preseason.
Bro, what about 2019? Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones. Like, it's been tragic. Most football drafts are terrible. I mean, the only good one is 2020.
And then you go to 23, where obviously you have Stroud, and then AR was the number 2. But also,
Bryce Young.
That division is so bad. Somebody's got to overtake that division, whether it be Stroud. I don't think it's AR. I need it to be AR for my 101 Prism. But I don't think it's going to be.
But it could be Cam Ward this year's.
Or it could be T-Law, right? So, like, these 4 guys, I would rather buy one card of each of those 4 quarterbacks than go after a Shadore Sanders or Jaden Daniels, because one of them is going to like 3 or 4x.
I mean, running down this year's draft, I mean, Cam Ward, okay. Ashton Genty looks terrible. I mean, the receivers look good. Like, Emeka Igabuka is a stud. He's going to have a hard time finding the field when there's so many good receivers there. Tetatoria McMillan looks okay, but the receiver cards have a very low ceiling. They don't get too high. So in terms of a quarterback class, like, no one's going to be going after Tyler Shaw. So maybe Shedeur hops up and be his second best quarterback in the class, but it's still just going to be, at the end of the day, another shitty draft class.
Another shitty football. That's really not what we need. I'd love to have a draft class where there's just like 3 elite QBs and really only 2020s like that, where there's still kind of 5 elite quarterbacks who are still like, looked at as legitimate QBs.
Yeah, and that's not including Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, and like, it's just such a stacked draft class. Like, that product is so good. But they call it a generational draft class because it happens every generation.
And just as a cautionary tale to anybody who's watching this, when we bring up preseason and Shedeur Sanders, he's playing great. There's all this hype around him. Cameras are on him, which, by the way, meaningless game. Browns are probably going to get smacked every week on Sunday. Let's talk about my favorite guy to reference, Mac Jones. So Mac Jones, very similar hype. Kid pulls his 101. We've talked about this in the past. Sells it for $100K. That kid's dreams come true, right? This is a 2021 Panini 1 premium patch autograph black 1-of-1 shield with an autograph that's listed for $1,500, and you can't even get $1,500 for it, right? Mac Jones. Now moving to another quarterback from that class, Trey Lance. Trey Lance, rookie, prism, black, finite, online, $7,500. Why would you pay $7,500? The guy who is listing this, I mean, listen, sure, you take a flyer on him, maybe you spend $500 to $1,000, hoping he comes in.
Dude, he's on his 4th NFL team.
Sorry, I'm saying you could take a flyer on him, and the quarterback who starts on that team gets injured, he comes in like a Mike White situation.
I think he's the 4th string on that team. He's like,
listen, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying there's people in this hobby who are degenerates, who that's their play. And you, by the way, you're friends with a lot of them.
There are. And even at that level, Trey Lance is not it.
You told me a couple episodes ago that they just buy all the shitty quarterbacks up.
I had people
NTs.
buying Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, like backup quarterback Daniel Jones, who I was right on. Like, yes, you can go in and buy quarterbacks and back quarterbacks.
By the way, did you see what Tanner McKee was in the news for this week?
Why, he's a stud?
Well, he is a stud, but somebody came up to him and was like, "Hey, Tanner, your Madden rating is 61." And he was like, real funny. He's like, "What do you think about that?" He was like, "Watch the game tonight." Goes out, fucking throws 18 for 20, 250, 3 touchdowns, just slaying the ball.
Dude, I mean, if he's a 61, Jalen Hurts is a 67. I mean, he's just one hit away from being the next quarterback of the Eagles.
I think he may have moved his Madden rating from 61 to 71 just with that game. We'll see. But let's jump into our favorite segment of the week. What are we buying? But first, we're going to give away another card this week. This is the Ludex Weekly Loot Giveaway, and we're giving away a Paul Skeens Rookie Inception Green Parallel. This is out of 125. Let me just make sure. Yup, 33 of 125. That's an on-card auto. Remember, to enter the Ludex Loot Giveaway of the week, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like this post, and comment anything you want underneath this video. We love to hear from you guys what you want to hear about on a future episode. We've seen some guys recently post about they want to hear about Pokemon, or they want to hear about Star Wars, or they want to hear about hockey, right? We're going to incorporate all of these things into future episodes, and we want to hear from you. And obviously, we want to have discussions in this show about what matters to you guys.
So what we're buying this week? First off, we're taking a 1997 Finest Michael Jordan refractor, which is a sick card, but we found one in a black label.
There's just something about a black label that's just so disgusting.
Dude, it's so rare you see a black label pre-2000s. Like, what is this? And it's Jordan himself. So I checked this card before. The PSA 10 is about $1,000 to $2,000. The black label should really be like 20x that. maybe even more, because like you can take a black label of like a newer card, like a Topps Now card or like a blank slate, and be like, all right, it's kind of cool. But they all 10, like these finest cards from 97 still don't even 10 that much. So we have a 101 masterpiece of Michael Jordan. This is a card that we always talk about where you buy it and then you can name the price after, because you're not going to find another one.
So at 13K, 17 bids, where would you cap out on this if you were going to bid on this?
I mean, I would bid up to $25,000 for it. I mean, this is also not a bad product. This is Finest, which we're ripping right now downstairs on our channel. We're ripping Finest Baseball. This product's been around for 30 years. I would comfortably pay $25K for this, especially because Jordan refractors right now in general are going up a lot. And this is not like a 97 base card. This is the refractor. It's the hit of the product. So you can't go wrong buying this card.
Okay, what else you got?
Next up, we have a 2017 Flawless Star Swatch RPA of Jason Tatum and a PSA 10. There's so much things I like about this card. One, Tatum is down, is a good buy right now. One of the elite players in the NBA, an NBA champion. Let's put some respect on his name. Second, Flawless RPAs. People have always wanted the trues, but Star Swatches have been getting so much love recently. The Vet Star Swatches, Kobe Star Swatches, Shea Star Swatches, Ant-Man Star Swatches. They're honestly one of the better looking cards in Flawless because the window is bigger. Then you have a PSA 10 on it. There's really nothing wrong with this card.
Yeah, well, PSA 1010 is just ridiculous. Pop 2. This is a beautiful card. Again, I, as a buyer of Tatum or anybody who gets injured, like I'm always thinking into the future. Because if you're buying this right now, sure, hold it for a year. It's a little longer than a year, probably. You got to hold it. Maybe you buy it now, you hold it till the National when his prices go up a little bit, right? And by the way, guys, for anybody who's watching who hasn't been in the National, like you should be loading up on cards all year and just go to the National. And like you're probably going to make 10% on the low end of every card.
Yeah, that's
right?
a formula for every person in the world for the past 20 years.
So as a number one, and number two, like if you're a fan of cards and you haven't been to the show, like it's just a really cool experience to go to. My friend Ethan over here was actually overwhelmed by the show after 2 days because you're used to those little shows down in Garden Grove that aren't as intense.
Dude, it's my 5th National, and every single one is equally as tiring as the first one, especially as the hobby grows on.
But I will make this advice to anybody who wants to listen. For me, if I'm going to buy Tatum, this guy who's going to come back from injury, who's not going to play this season, I'm going to wait till the NBA season ends next year. That's when I start loading up on Tatum.
Yeah, so it's a gold 10 out of 10, PSA 1010. This card should be right now between 20 and 25K, but I mean, if this ran 2 years ago, it'd probably be like a 40 to 60K card.
And remember, everybody who's watching who's saying, Daps, Ethan, I can't afford a $17,000 card. Go look up a silver prism next year, whether it's a base or a PSA 10, whatever you can afford. The most liquid card you can buy of any player is a silver prism. They sell consistently. There's 5 sales a day, right? And the reason that that's a good thing is you can get a true idea of what the market is on the card. It's not like this card sold for 5K and this one sold for 8K, and it's like, what's the price of this card? Silver prisms, the last 5 sales are going to have happened in the last 48 hours, and they're all going to be within 10% of one another. That's the price of the card. Buy silver prisms of that guy in the offseason, hold them for a couple months, wait for the season to start, heating up again. Look at what's going on in football right now. We're in August, all of these card sales, and by the way, even in July, there's been some huge card sales. Justin Jefferson's finite sold for like 8K. It was either Jefferson or Jamar in March. And I was looking at it thinking I wanted to buy it, just sold for 50. Like, that's insane. That's an $8,000 investment in March. This is like Bitcoin, crypto crap, right? Like that's what this is like. So listen, there's a tremendous opportunity, and especially for fans of football, baseball, basketball, you know which players ball out. You know which players are going to perform. You know a guy like Tatum who got injured is going to come back, and you can make money on him. What's the next card we're buying?
Next card, which I was really excited to look at, was a 2020 Joe Burrow Contenders, not Contenders Optic, cracked ice in a BGS 10.
Not to be pretentious. Maybe pretentious isn't the word, Dill. He'll correct me. He's the dictionary over there. But if I had this card and it comes back and I got corners 10, surface 10, edges 10, and I don't get a black label because of a centering 9.5 on a 10.10, I'm calling Beckett.
Yeah, they're not going to give you a black label on this as much as you try. I don't know why they're knocking centering off, but they had to knock something off, so this is what you get. Beautiful card at the time where this could be the last moment ever to buy Joe Burrow and be able to make money. Because if he comes out this year and he does what he did last year and then wins games, then he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. This card during the bubble was a $100,000 plus card. You're going to get it at a discount. I mean, I don't think it was too long ago where a PSA 10 Joe Burrow was an over 20K card. So if you can get this card for like 30K and he balls out again, it's going to go flying.
Are you leaving this in a BGS 1010 though without a black label? Like, or are you sending this to PSA to get a PSA 1010?
No, I would never. PSA 1010 is worth far less than a BGS 1010. BGS needs to have some respect. You know how hard it is to BGS 10 something?
But they don't.
But they do. I mean, I've been sending cards to BGS for decades now, and I've only had one BGS 10 ever. It's a higher. It used to be a PSA to BGS 10 would be like 2x, maybe 3x. Now it's only 1.5, but it will always be harder than a PSA 10.
When I see PSA 10 sale, BGS 9.5 sale, SGC 10 sale, and like the disparity between a PSA 10 and a BGS 9.5 is so disgusting. When it, don't get me wrong, like if it's off 20%, 10%, okay, whatever.
Yeah, 50% is too much.
It's so much, dude. And that's why even when you're saying, oh, well, historically BGS 1010 does better than a PSA 1010, I just don't know, man.
It should, and it should always be in. It always has been. So it's new news to me if it's not. But coming from a guy who just bought the BGS 10 Red Optic Mahomes on alt last week, it is better. Trust me. I've owned 30 Red Optic Mahomes, and the BGS 10 is the best looking one.
All right, next card.
So it wasn't too long ago where I was telling everyone to go out and buy Paolo Banchero. Now let's see if I was right. This is a 2022 Prism Gold Rookie Paolo PSA 9. 2022 was an impossible year to grade cards. So this PSA 9 is probably the highest one. So it has the NBA Gold label on it for the best eye appeal. I think this card is going to break records. Not even just break records. I think it's going to 2x the last sale of it.
Are you buying this at this price? This seems wildly high.
I think dude, I don't even think it's halfway there. I think his card ends at 40K plus. And no, I'm not buying it because I could have bought it probably 3 months ago for less. But it would be nice for the Paolo market to show that it is up because everyone saw Cade last year and how good he is and how much his cards increased. And Paolo Banchero, sorry for saying this, is a better player. You can't teach 6'10". He's got the same type of athleticism. He's just as fast, just as strong, just as much of a playmaker, just as much of a scorer, and plays more defense. I like Paolo better than Cade, and if Cade's true gold prism is a 40K card, then Paolo should be 45.
I just think about Jaden Daniels and Paolo Banchero, and I just feel like Jaden Daniels is way better at football than this guy is at basketball, and I don't think that...
I mean, I generally think Jaden Daniels is not that good at football. I don't know what everyone's watching.
I don't think Banchero should be double the price of Jaden Daniels. I think that's crazy.
Well, it's a different sport and a different set. And I think I think a gold Jaden Daniels prism is more than 40K.
Is it?
I would believe so.
Well, after that sale, it should be 50.
I mean, if the
minimum.
prism black is 500K, I mean, 1/10 of it, it seems fair. Either way, Jaden Daniels is so overrated. I know I've said this on the podcast before, but like he's just a healthy Robert Griffin at this point.
All right, guys. Oh, yeah. I think that concludes this episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Up or Down. Don't forget to enter the weekly Ludex Loot giveaway. Comment beneath this video. Remember, guys, download the Ludex app in the link below this video. It's a great tool to have to upload your entire collection. It also allows you to scan every single card in seconds into the app and then list your cards on eBay. There is no faster way to list cards on eBay than the Ludex app. Also, don't forget, guys, everybody who watches, we are going to be ripping open brand new product this week, NBA Topps Finest all day. I'm going to be on stream myself from 6 p.m. to midnight. 6 p.m. to midnight Pacific time. If you want to rip some Finest with me, that's going to be Thursday and Friday night. Please join us tonight and tomorrow. Tell us what you're buying and what you want to talk about in the comments. Again, guys, I am Daps, co-host Ethan. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.